Okay, Miss Johnson, you have your hand over the camera. Miss Johnson, thank you.
Hey, Deborah.
And we are live.
All right, all right. Thank you so very much, everybody. We're excited. My name is Ann McNeill, and I am the Master Builder. We want to welcome you to our Better Investing, My Investing Story. We have another wonderful story for you tonight. But before we do that, let's talk about better investing. And we're all volunteers with the Better Investing organization. The Better Investing organization has helped over 5 million individual investors learn how to invest in stocks. Let's talk about what we're not. We're not day traders, we're not stockbrokers. We are volunteers. Volunteers who, for many, many, many years, over 50 years actually, have helped individuals learn how to start and run effective investment clubs, and really the principles and philosophy of investing for your family and for your future. I'm honored to be on tonight with none other than the baby billionaire, Miss Ione McNeill. But equally as important, I am really honored and I'm very excited to be here with a longtime friend, Mr. Larry Reno. And so Ione's going to introduce Larry. He's going to share his story, his investing story with all of you. We want to encourage you to like, to post, and to share the show. Like, post, and share the show. If you have any questions or comments and you're listening to us live, please put your comments in the chat and we will bring you on air. If you're listening on our radio show, just press 1 on your dial and we'll recognize your question and we'll bring your question on air. And if you're listening and sharing with us live on Zoom, you can put your question in the chat and we will get your question to the appropriate person. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ione, and we are going to go ahead and get started with Larry's My Investing Story.
Well, thank you. Hoorah, Larry, hoorah.
Hoorah, hoorah.
Every time we see each other at a Better Investing National Convention, we just have to be loud. Because
there you go. There you go. We just make noise.
So we're going to start the show off like this. Can you please put up the shirt that I saw you wearing and that you are going to put in the mail to me?
Sooner or later.
Sooner or later. Bring it down just a little bit. I retired at 55. Bring it up. Thank you, Better Investing, Georgia chapter. So
yes,
go ahead.
Yes, I did.
Yes. So a lot of people on here are a little over 55. A lot of people on here are under 55 as well. And in as much as we want to learn how you did it, we also want to learn about your journey through better investing, because you have won a lot of awards for your spirit of service, for your volunteering. You've served on boards, you're active in the Georgia chapter. So just walk us actually through the first time you heard about better investing, which actually probably was when it was called NAIC.
That's true.
How did you come to hear about NAIC or better known as Better Investing?
I took my wife to a doctor's appointment, and I remember it was a gynecologist, so there's nothing in there but Ladies Magazine. I'm flipping through Red Book, and there was an article there about investment clubs. I thought that's interesting, so ripped it out, stuck it in my collar, went home, and mailed off. And I was surprised to get a response back within less than a week. So it sounded really interesting, so I talked it up at work, and I found 3 guys and $100 a piece. And on the second day of September 1982, we started Mutual Investors of Atlanta, and we're still kicking.
Wow. Wow. So you reached out to NAIC about how to get started, and they gave you some information?
Exactly. And, you know, I thought I was the only investment club in Georgia. I couldn't spell PE. It was 3 years before I could finally understand the upside downside ratio and things like this, things that we use every day. And it maybe sound Greek to some of those people who are not familiar with better investing, but we had to learn on our own because back then there wasn't a chapter here. And we thought we were the only investment club in the world.
Right, right. So with you starting in the early to mid 80s, talk to us a little bit about the support that you found within Better Investing.
Oh, the support is unbelievable. Like I said, I was surprised how quick they got back to me. That's one thing that really impressed me. Better Investing has taught me how to be a better investor. And with the tools, and what's nice about the club is you learn in the club and then take it home and use it in your own 401k. So what you learn at home, at the clubs, you can pass on to your personal life. And also, I think it's kind of funny. You have people watching the stocks in the club. I'll buy them on myself and have the club watch it for me, so I hadn't got to keep on. So I got to keep up with it. I got someone down there just watching that stock for me.
Exactly. Wow. Now, were you investing at all before you became a member of the investment club?
It's almost funny. Yes, I started back in the early 70s.
Okay.
Investing, and I remember taking a Standard & Poor's.
Yes.
And open it up and see the chart going up to the right, and I bought. Had no earthly idea why. It just looked like the price was going up, and I would buy it.
Mm-hmm.
Not till I found Better Investing that I found a way. I paid too much for stocks. I bought stocks that I shouldn't have bought because they were overpriced.
Right.
Their PE was too high. So until I found Better Investing, I then learned how to not only find a good company, but once you find a good company, what's a good price to pay for it so you don't overpay.
Mm.
There is.
Talk to us a little bit about maybe some of those early mistakes that you made when you were just doing it on your own.
Oh yes, I remember we had a stock. Gosh, it was a shoe company in Puerto Rico, I think it was. And it's a little bitty small company, and we kept watching the thing go up, and we sat there, and it showed signs that we might ought to be getting rid of it. No, we're going to hang on to it anyway. And then it fell out of the bottom fell out, and we lost all of our money in it. So it was just learning like that. You make mistakes, but then you learn from your mistakes.
Right.
And you try and one thing good about, and I'll never forget this, when the market took a dive back in late 80s, it was good to have a club there to hold your hand and say, hey, Larry, it's not going to be that bad. I remember coming into the club meeting one night. He says, guys, I sold everything I have and I bought gold. Joking, of course, just to get a grin out of everybody.
Right.
But when the market went down, like I've always said, my wife says she gets tired of hearing these stories, that I invest like a fireman. When the market goes down, I go in like the fireman does. When everybody's running out of the fire, everybody's running out of the market, that's when I go in.
Let's tweet that. Let's tweet that.
I like that analogy, Larry.
There you go. I'm a fireman. You'll see in the article in Better Investing, they even use that again. One of my favorite sayings there. But
wow.
We also want to have him take us back to the very beginning in his family. You usually ask that question about.
You can go ahead and ask it.
Yeah, Larry, can you take us back to your childhood and your first memory of money and investing, and share with our audience? Because we really want the listeners to understand. Larry and I had an opportunity to talk just for a little bit before the program started. So I know you weren't here to say no, wait, save it for the program. And we were just talking about how when we all got started, we were here at the very, very bottom, all of us. And over the years, we then began to learn how to save, how to invest, how to analyze. And I can't speak for anybody else. I was sharing Larry my $20 story. I said, all I had was $20, just $20. And
Yep.
so we had the dividend reinvestment. I put money in that. And so we want him to share his investing story before he took the page out the magazine from your family. Can you bring us, first take us all the way back and then bring us up to today?
Well, I grew up poor and I didn't realize I was poor. I I had a very simple, my father was a plumber. I had a very simple life with him. I worked with him in the summer times and stuff like this, and I learned a lot from him. He was a plumber and electrician, so I learned a lot from him, carrying his wrenches and stuff like that. Uh, when I finally went to college, I was the first child in the family to go to college. Uh, I knew that I needed to save money and to invest. I didn't invest. I didn't know what investing was. I started out saving money I get a pay raise. I said, well, I was living without that raise, so I'll take that extra $10 that I got a week and put it into a savings account. And a true story is, after about 7 years, I had more in the savings account going in than I was receiving in a paycheck, because I was living on it and I was able to. And that's how I first started. But the first investing, there was a gentleman in an office. I was in Europe working with the military, and there was a gentleman there who was a stockbroker, and he was a shyster. But he got me involved in looking at that, and that's where I found the S&P book and saw the chart going up. Having no earthly idea what I was buying or why I was buying it, other than the chart said it's going up, so I bought it. Didn't know if I overpaid for it, and I did. And I learned my lessons. I have the PhD from the School of Hard Knocks, and and I've been there, done that, and got that T-shirt, as I said. But I couldn't have done anything without Better Investing. And to me, I'm paying back. I have been blessed, is about the best word to put it, with Better Investing, and here I am today.
Well, but we just want to make sure that we talk about the fact that everybody has an investing story. And the
Yes.
purpose of this program and the purpose of this show is to give a platform for you to share your story. Whoever you are out there, we all have an investing story. We want to help you to understand that education is the key. And Better
Yes.
Investing provides a phenomenal amount of volunteers. We're all volunteers. We do not get
Amen.
paid to do any of this. We're volunteers, and we volunteer because when we started investing, Ione and I, over 20 years ago, people volunteered to help us learn. And so in learning, we realized the value in giving back. Larry just said it. He's giving back, and I don't know, he might have given back more hours than any other volunteer, or he's right there in the race after 50 or 60 years now you've been involved, Larry?
Yes, since '82, been involved with Better Investing. So I've been involved. I was a founding director for the Atlanta chapter when we first got started here. Later became the Georgia chapter. I've been on the national board. I've served every position on the national board other than secretary. I ran 3 fairs. That's something you don't want to do. If someone asks you to run a fair, it'll burn you out. But it's fun.
Can you share with us what is a fair? So those who may not be familiar with the term, can you share with the listeners what is an investing?
It used to be called Congress. I remember a lady coming to me and say, I told my children I'm going to go speak at Congress, but they used to call it Congress. But Better Investing has an annual investors fair. They call it BINC, Better Investors National Convention. And it's where they bring in speakers from and companies from all over the U.S. to put on educational programs and to tell you why you should invest in their company, as well as training from the beginner all the way to the expert, shall we call it. And it's a great event. Usually lasts 3 to 4 days, and they had scheduled to have one in Texas this year, but because of the COVID, they had to move it, and next year will be in Washington, D.C. It's a great opportunity to go out and meet like-minded people. And I remember a good friend, the first time I took him to a Better Investing convention, he says, this is nothing but a cult. Everybody here is drinking the same water. And it's a fact. We are a cult. If you look at it, go back and step back and look at it. We are a cult of investors who have drank the water and realized what Better Investing can do for us and for you, the individual who's never started investing before. Better Investing will help you become a better investor.
Yeah, I just want to, Ione, you can come back on, but I also just want to make sure that all of our listeners that may have just come on, if you have any questions, if you could put your questions in the chat. And again, if you're listening to us live, you can please place your questions in the comments on the Facebook Live, because we want to make sure we get to your questions, because this is your opportunity to talk with Larry and any of us about questions that you may have about simple investing. And I think, Ione, we have one of your shout outs on in the participants, and maybe you'll get to her, Miss Shania Fair, because we really want to encourage people to just take just one little step, and then one step goes to the next step and to the next step. And we provide this platform to give you an opportunity to participate. So, Ione, back to you.
Thank you. Well, we have one question in the chat, but before I do, this week's shout out goes to my dear friend Shania Fair. Shania has a little baby girl, like 1 year old, definitely less than 18 months. But the reason Shania gets this week's accolades is because just last week, she called Vanguard, she set up her own Roth IRA, and has contributed into it. So congrats. Let me do if everybody can give Shania a thumbs up or hand clap of praise. Shania, we just want to congratulate you, girl, and encourage you as you continue to make steps and strides towards your own financial freedom. I know that this was a huge step for you. Usually the first step is the hardest, but now that you have started your Roth IRA, and she set it up on automatic investment. So for those of you all that have been on for the past couple of weeks, we talked about forced savings or automatic investment and talked about how do we do that. That's how she set up her retirement account. And so this week's shout out goes to you.
Yeah, I was trying to turn her camera on because it would be great. But Shania,
we don't know if she's ready for the camera. So
okay. All right, Shania. We won't ask you to turn your camera on. We respect that. Yes.
So we have a quick question in the chat.
There she is, Ione. There she
is. Can you see her?
Yes.
Oh, and the baby.
Shania, would you like to make any comment before we Yes, because this is the investing story. So now we have an experienced investor and we have a brand new investor on the line. Just unmute yourself, Shania, please. You're this expert on Zoom.
Go off mute, Shania.
You're mute.
Hi, everyone. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this journey. I was really scared because I didn't know what to invest, how to invest. I didn't know what investing was. I just knew that I had to save up my money. So that's what I did. I know how to save money. So I saved my money in preparation for it. And then I had a conversation with Ione, and she's like, look, I got you. Don't worry. Here's how you do it. Just click on the link, call them, set up the account, and I'll help you through it. So I did that, and I'm even doing a UGMA for my daughter. So I'm really excited just to not set up, only my account, but starting to get her prepared for her future. So I'm glad to take this leap. Yeah, I'm just excited.
Yeah, one more question before we take you off camera. Can you share with us, if you don't mind, how much are you investing each month? Because I think it's important for people who are listening, who may be thinking, oh, I don't have $1,000 a month or $500 a month. And Larry, we're going to come to you and ask the question, how much did you start investing with your initial club? So Shania, how much?
Yeah, so for me, I'm deciding to take the initiative to invest $50 a week. And that was from me cutting off all of my subscriptions that I knew I didn't need. And I just added up all of that money that I would have been paying in subscriptions anyway, canceled them, and put that into investing.
Can we give her another round? Thank you so much, Shania. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. So back to you, Ione and Larry.
Yes, and in fact, I'm gonna have Shania answer this quick question. Makita Perry asks, "What's a UGMA?"
So it's a gift investing account for minors. So since my daughter can't really have her own account, once she turns 18 and becomes an adult, that investment account will then transfer over to her.
And how old is she now?
She's
1. She turned 1 in March.
And I think, Makita, it may be Unified Gift Minors Act or something like that. That's what it stands for. We have another question, and we have 2 questions. One, Larry, someone asked, what's your favorite investing book?
Yeah, I saw that Tom O'Hara wrote a book, and I'm trying to remember the name of the book right now. Something about acorns. It's a very, very good book. Anne, you may help me remember that.
Acres of Diamonds.
What's that?
No, Tom O'Hara. Tom.
Oh,
O'Hara.
Main Street Millionaires. Main Street Millionaires.
But I think it had acorns in it.
Yeah, I can't remember I thought I had it here, but I can't see it. So, but anyway,
From Little Acorns Grow.
From
something like that. Yes.
From Little Acorns Grow, Main Street Millionaire.
Yes.
There you go. That's it. That's it. And it's a very good book.
Yep. I think that's actually by Mike Winland.
Yeah, but it's a story. It's right. It's a story
it has a
of
picture
Tom
of
O'Hara
Tom
and how
O'Hara.
this organization was founded. So you're both right on target.
Yeah, I just mentioned that though for people that's going to look up the book. The title of it is From Little Acorns Grow, Main Street Millionaires, and I'll put it in the chat. But it's by Mike Winland, which is Wendland, but it's a book about Tom O'Hara, who is one of the
And the
founders.
person that asked the question, Ione, I would also suggest they go on to do the 90-day free, but also get the Better Investing magazine is another response to that question, because this is a phenomenal, even if you just did one little short article a month out of this magazine, an enormous amount of information to share. So any other questions in the chat? And Marshall, any questions for you?
Yes, so another question we have from one of your fellow chapter friends, Larry, is can you talk a little bit about the Georgia chapter and what the Georgia chapter is doing right now? And I'll put this month's event in the chat, but just talk to the people about the 3-day event Georgia's going to be having.
Okay, I would be glad to talk about that. We have a 3-day investors fair. It's going to start on August the 20. Let me get my glasses on here. 27th, I believe it is, Thursday the 27th. There'll be 2 classes on Thursday, 4 classes on Friday evening, and then I believe 8 on Saturday. You can sign up. It's free to everybody, to include members and non-members of Better Investing. We'll have classes from the beginner to the expert. We'll have classes. We have people coming in. One of our sponsors or speakers is from Pittsburgh. One is from San Diego. One of our speakers is from the home office at Better Investing. We have Cy Lynch, who's one of our local speakers here and has been at Bink. Every one of these people who will have at this meeting have taught at Bink as well. It's free. It's open to everybody. We would love everybody to attend. And
is it in person or online, Larry?
Pardon? It's
online.
It's virtual.
Okay, just want to make sure everybody knows.
Right, due to the COVID, we normally have a investors fair in person here, but we're going to try to do one online. We normally have a 1-day Saturday event, but this way we're breaking it out. It'll be over 3 days. You can go to our Better Investing website, go to the Georgia chapter, look under events, and you can see a link there to all the classes. You can register there. We'd love to have you attend. And for anyone who attends, will have access to all 14 classes later. We're going to put them on Dropbox with all the handouts and the presentations, and everyone will have access to those later.
But I want to make sure, Ione, Marshall, and Michelle, if you can put the link in the comments on Facebook. And so that would allow everybody to go back and get that link. Even if you are listening to this recording in the future and you want to participate, you can click that link. Also, Ione, if you can explain to everybody how they can save the chat.
So if you're on your computer right now, if you pull up your chat box, you're going to see three dots.
Tell them where it is. The chat is
down at the bottom of your screen, in between, right next to share screen. You should be able to pull up the chat box, and next to the word file, there are going to be three dots. You can click those three dots and press save chat. What you can do even right now is open up the chat box, and I put the link that has start with https://betterinvesting.org and ends in PDF. You can click that and let that open on your computer or on your phone, and then come back and join us. But this link is going to take you to the schedule of events that Larry just mentioned, and be sure to register.
It's free.
It's free. It's free. And that's one of the things that, as I become more involved in better investing, in fact, because my beginning journey of education was in better investing, I didn't realize how much quality of an education better investing provided until I started meeting other investors that didn't even hear about better investing. And when they start telling me about what they own and how much money they were losing, I was like, what are you doing? Where do you get your information from? And because it's, as you may know, Larry, it's a lot of people that are investors out here, but better investing really separates the wheat from the shaft.
Yes, it does.
The education we get. In fact, when Miss Ann was speaking earlier and you were talking earlier, I thought about how better investing really teaches you how to not just become a better investing, but how to help yourself.
Amen.
We're all volunteers, but we don't do it for you. We help you help you. And that's with the education, that's with the resources, that's with the tools. And, honestly, to put it simply, we almost have a fail-safe proof kind of method, because we learn the basics. What is investing? We really learn how to analyze a stock, how to ask certain questions of a company to determine what's quality versus what's hype.
Amen.
And then you add on being a long-term investor, you could easily become basically a Warren Buffett, a regular person that knows what they're looking for, that can make sound, quality, profitable investment decisions. And you don't have to have graduated with an MBA. You don't have to work on Wall Street. You don't have to turn your life upside down. You don't have to be glued to CNBC. You don't have to watch, read the New York Wall Street Journal every week. I mean, it is to be this successful as an investor, yet still keep a sane lifestyle. I mean, I didn't know that both could exist.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a question for Larry. And Larry, if you can share with us the value that you are sharing with your family in terms of investing, because I think it's important for those who are listening to understand, like Ione said, this is not just for you, but how do we share that? And the family could be, the family that you've inherited in your chapter, because I think many of us have been along together so long. Our children and our grandchildren become the children and grandchildren of our better investing family.
Right. It's like I said, it's almost like a cult rather than a family. But we have so much out there. Everyone is helping everyone else. And here's the thing about it. There's 1,800 volunteers with Better Investing now, or some number like that.
Wow.
And we're all volunteers. We're not getting a darn thing. And why we do that?
Harder now than some of the jobs we.
And why do we do that? Because we love what we're doing. We have seen the fruits of our labors and want to share it with everyone else. So it's like my friend said, it's a cult.
But I want to ask the listeners this question. We talked about this before the program started. Have any of you heard the motivational speaker by the name of Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N? If you've ever heard of Jim Rohn and you're on here with us on Zoom, can you just use the yes or the hand and just put your hand up? And if you're listening on Facebook, if you could just give us a comment or give us a comment in the chat and just say, yes, I've heard of Jim Rohn. Now, while you're doing that, we talked about this very briefly, going back to Larry's point. Jim Rohn, one of the number one motivational speakers, he's one of these people that Les Brown listened to when he was coming into the motivational business. But he tells a story, Jim Rohn tells a story about how he lied to a Girl Scout. He said when the Girl Scout came to his door to sell him Girl Scout cookies, he told her he already had Girl Scout cookies inside because she needed $2 from him to buy the cookies. And he said at that point in time in his life, he did not have $2. And when he closed that door and accepted the fact that he had just lied to a Girl Scout because he did not have the $2, he said, I never want to live like this again. Now, as he told this story thousands of times all over the world, you ask yourself the question, why, you're a multimillionaire now. Why are you still telling that story? And Larry and I was just talking before the show started, and I was sharing with him that I would share this story with all of you because he shared, the reason he continues to share the story about the $2 is because there are people who are listening to him and they see him here. They didn't see where he started here, not having $2. And over the years of being in his network marketing business, he then began to change his own life around and understand the value of saving and investing and having and operating a profitable life, if you will. And so Larry was just sharing his story. We all have an investing story, $2 story. Mine is a $20 story. Yep. All of us have stories. And so what we want to come back to you, Larry, have you ever had any hard times where you found it was not easy to invest as you would have liked to?
Oh, heavens, yes. Back when I was young and in college, I just lived from payday to the day before the next payday. I had nothing to invest, nothing to save. I was making $1.50 an hour or something like this. So trying to go to school, it was rough. It was very rough. But when I started my investment club, like you, we started out with $20 a month, 4 guys and $20 a month. And we would throw that $80 in there and invest it once a month. And today we have withdrawn over $250,000 out of that account and still.
Okay, wait, whoa. Can you say that again?
We have withdrawn over $250,000 out of that account.
And how much were you investing a month?
$20 a month.
I just want to make sure everybody catch that.
Yes.
Because that is what this is about. Now, do you have a PhD in investing?
I have a PhD in hard knocks. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, I do not.
So how does that happen? Can you help us understand, how do you invest $20 times 4 guys over how many years?
Gosh, 36, 38.
Almost 40.
40, almost, you're right, almost 40. Gosh, time sure flies when you're having fun. And believe me, I was having fun. I'm still having fun today. But we, that account, I've been the treasurer for life. So I look at, have all the records like that. And we have withdrawn over $250,000 out of that account. and giving it to the partners to go out and have a good time, or they moved on and stuff like that, and still have a rather healthy portfolio today.
And so today your portfolio roughly is about roughly what?
Roughly $250,000.
Still $250,000.
Yes.
After taking out $250,000.
Yes.
I just want to make sure I repeat that, because there are people who will be listening to this. This show is evergreen. There are people who will be listening to this and they don't believe it. And for those of you who understand the power of compound interest, that's what this is about. And the sad thing, but the good thing is that it's so simple.
You can miss it.
You do miss it.
Let me give you another little story.
Thank you.
Another true story. My wife got PO'd at her boss at age 46.
I'm sorry, what's PO'd?
Pissed off. Didn't want to go back.
There
Y'all
you go.
know, everybody on this thing got jobs. Y'all know y'all at your breaking point, some of y'all.
Yeah. She got PO'd and says, take this job and shove it. And she worked for the civil service, and she could have left her money there, and in 15 years would have draw $750 a month out of civil service. But she had something like $43,000 in that. I took the money out and put that in her account. I don't want to tell you how much she's got now, but she's got a heck of a lot of money out.
Tell us. No, we want to know. You took us down this road. You got to go all the way down the road.
Oh,
nobody on here but just the three of us.
Okay, she's got over $300,000 in that account right now, and she's pulled out a whole passel of money along the way.
How much did she start with?
About 46,000. Don't tell me the exact amount.
Did you put in it? How much more did you put in over the time?
Oh, this was one time when she quit her job. And we withdrew her retirement out, and rather than leave it in civil service, I invested it for her. So
it just grew on its own because of the decisions you made.
I hope so. I hope to take some credit for it. And she's gonna slap me behind the head and says, "What are you talking about, boy?"
But there's a point I want to make sure we all understand, all of us, myself included. We want to make sure we understand you didn't put any more money in that account.
No.
Okay. Now, for all of you who are listening, if you don't have any questions, don't wait until the show is over and start texting Ione and saying, oh, well, I had a question and I didn't ask it. If you are listening to us live, listen, I'm going to change my name to my phone number. You can reach out to us because this is so powerful.
And as you do that, we have a quick question we're going to ask you, because I answered in the chat, but I want to give you a chance to ask Larry. Shania is asking, was that money invested in stocks or an investment account?
Oh, in stocks. And we manage it in Fidelity account.
Yeah.
And we manage that, and she let me manage it.
Right.
And
because you have the education of how to choose the stocks that's going to get you the best returns.
Yeah.
You got the best returns.
Yeah, and we've been very lucky. I've made mistakes. We all do that. I have an eraser on the end of my pencil too. So it's very easy to do that. But lick your wounds and keep going.
Powerful.
We have another question asking, so mutual funds, what's your take on mutual funds, Larry?
Mutual funds is great when you're starting because you may not know where, you may not have enough money to diversify. So mutual funds is a great way to start. But I got out of mutual funds after a few years, and I haven't been in mutual funds in 30 years. I have my own mutual fund. It's called Portfolio.
My portfolio.
My portfolio.
Yeah, we had a guest on the show maybe about a month or two back who said, and I liked how he said this. He said, when you look at a mutual fund, they're going to tell you the top 10 holdings of that mutual fund. If you just buy the top 10 holdings, you just created your own mutual fund.
Exactly.
And that's what people have to realize. Their entire portfolio, which is just a collection of stocks and whatever else you got in there, that's a mutual fund, because a stock is just one company. stocks are more than one company,
Right.
but a mutual fund is a mix of all those things. I like to say a mutual fund is like when you go and buy that trail mix and it got the cashews, the almonds, the
Everything
peanuts,
in there.
and it already has everything in that one little bag.
But you got to be
So,
careful when you're buying that. You want to diversify. Like I prefer to have around 25% in small companies, about 50% in medium, and about 25% in large companies.
right.
The large companies are going to give you the dividends. The small companies are going to give you the growth, and the middle company is going to get a little bit of both. So it's diversification.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Now,
That's 40
let's
years of
take,
experience speaking.
oh yeah,
40 years of experience speaking.
40 years of better investing teacher. This man just summed up in less than 3 sentences, all you need to know about diversification. And so just a nugget. Make sure you take that. But let's fast forward to tell us about your job. What type of job you had? Because I like to tell people when I'm talking to people about better investing, I say that, I was around people that were regular people, salt of the earth people,
Yeah.
teachers, post office workers, engineers. I mean, these people had regular jobs, and many of them were not entrepreneurs. Many of them were not in the financial sector. But for some reason, investing $25 a month, meeting once a month in their investment group, they are retiring at 50, 55, 60. And I at the beginning of this show, I had you put up your shirt representing Georgia chapter about I retired at 55. Tell us how you ended up doing that.
The day I turned 55, on my birthday,
Did you tell them to shove it, Larry?
Oh, no, I was very polite. See y'all later. I have been, we love to RV, and we have traveled in an RV all over the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. It is just a life that I'm able to do because of that. My wife, when she quit, her and her sister took off and took a trip to South Africa to go on a safari for 3 weeks.
Wow.
Said, take this job and shove it, and just took off and went down there and enjoyed herself very much. And then I met him in London. I'd spent a little time in England, so I played tourist guide over there and met him in London we spent 4 or 5 days on their way back. So we love to travel. We love to travel, and we have been very, very fortunate to have been able to travel in the RV. We load up our kids, i.e. dogs, and go
exactly.
traveling.
What is it? 3 Chihuahuas or something like that?
Yeah, it's now grown, and we got a beagle in there as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have all of these are rescue dogs. Most of them are anyway. But we love to travel, and we've been able to do that because of what I learned through better investing. So I am spending my money as I go forward, so that when I pass away, it definitely would be a reason to cry, because I done spent all my money.
Okay. And,
No, I'm joking.
Tell us what was your career, Larry?
I was an auditor in civil service with the Department of the Army. I worked with them for 30-something years as an auditor and a financial manager. So
okay.
I have a financial backing,
okay.
but I'm not. I don't consider myself an expert in stocks, but maybe I am today. But at the time.
Okay.
I just want to remind everybody that's listening, we're not making any kind of stock recommendation, just so that we give that statement. And
right.
Just want to remind you that you are listening to the My Investing Story. We're all volunteers with Better Investing. Larry's in the Georgia chapter. Ione and I are in the South Florida chapter, and Better Investing was established in 1951. We're a national 501c3 not-for-profit organization who has helped over 5 million people from all walks of life learn how to invest. And we produce unbiased investment education and powerful online stock analysis tools to create successful lifelong investors and lifelong volunteers. Because I think that nobody told us we were in this for life, but I am so glad they didn't, because we are so committed. Like Larry said, I won't use the other word he used, but I'll call it almost to the borderline of being a zealot to just make sure that we volunteer and share with all of you. The other, before we finish, I know Bob is on, and
yeah, I was just going to say, Bob, when you get a chance, we want you to put your words into the chat if you want to give any advice to, because we have a lot of beginner investors on the call. Bob can't speak audibly on the call with us tonight, but Bob, who is representing the North chapter, like I like to say, Space Coast chapter, so that's North Florida. If you can, and he's a veteran investor and a long-time BI member and volunteer. I am reaching out to him as we start our model club, because he led the pack for many years of having a model investment club that met online, only online. And
can you share with people what is a model investment club?
So a model investment club is basically, from using Better Investing's model, we're an investment club that's sponsored by the local chapter. But the reason we're a model is because we're open to the public. Every time we have an investment club meeting, anybody in the public can reach out to us, register to attend our meeting, sit in on our meeting, so that you can get to experience what is an investment club, how is it run, how do we conduct ourselves, how do we analyze stock, how do we buy stock, how do we determine how to sell stock. Just if you wanted to be a fly on the wall, you could be one at any of the model investment clubs, at any of the chapters of Better Investing, at any time.
Amen.
Any week of the month. North Florida meets first weekend of the month. Cincinnati, I think, has 2 model clubs. They meet the 3rd Saturday of the month. I mean, and every month you have an opportunity. Every week you have an opportunity. We have Better Investing online chapter. So even if you are located in an area where a chapter is not near to you, which nobody's going to physical meetings anymore. So it doesn't even matter. Even if you did have a chapter near you, you could still join the online chapter. They just had their annual meeting. I mean, the resources that are available to people is phenomenal, and it's abundant, and it's a quality of education all around. Larry is representing the Georgia chapter. Georgia chapter has some heavy hitters. They have Howard Johnson, who's a vet in the game. Like I said, North Florida, Cincinnati, Jackie Koski, Dean. We have out of Wisconsin, we have Dean Yeager, we have Bob Wynn. I mean, we have some phenomenal people in every single chapter playing a leadership service role in welcoming you in. If you have questions, like Bob Hewell is saying, his quick advice is to just do it. Start now. Don't procrastinate. Pay yourself first. Like Larry said, take a portion of your pay raise and pay your future self.
Amen.
Learn about investing so you can pass along this success story to others. And I'll end with this, tagging on to what Bob just said. As we figure out, especially a lot of us started off poor. Like Larry said, he was poor, didn't even know he was poor. When I grew up, I didn't have money for the things I thought was important, like Jordan shoes. I thought I was poor. So, when we think about how do we make ourselves financially comfortable and how do we provide for future generations, I think that comes with a long-term view of investing, which includes starting now, starting with what you have, being consistent. And if you do it for 30, 40 years, I mean, your grandchildren will be able to reap the benefits of the seeds that you began to plant.
Leonie, before you run off there, I want to let you know that Georgia has 2 model investment clubs also.
Oh, wow.
One meets on the 2nd Saturday and one meets on the 3rd Saturday of every month.
Wow.
Can we put that information in the chat so people can...
Guests are always welcome.
Yes, and actually, I think what's even better than providing people with everything, go to betterinvesting.org. That link is in the chat. Find the chapters. When you go to the link with the chapters,
Can you
You
pull it up, Ione? Can you share
once you
screen?
yeah, sure. Once you find the Georgia chapter, you'll be able to find those two model investment clubs and how do you attend those investment clubs. So I'm going to pull that up now.
Iona's going to share the screen because we want to make sure for those people who will be listening in the future that since you don't have the benefit of the chat, and Marshall, if you can put the information from the chat inside of the comments on Facebook, and then people can have that information. So Iona's going to betterinvesting.org. And if you're
So
online,
what I literally did, Michelle just put in the chat this link, the link directly to the chapters. And when you scroll down to Georgia, you're going to be able to see the introduction. You're going to be able to see phone numbers, email addresses directly, so you can get in contact with people with your questions. Click on Model Investment Club, Atlanta Chapter Model Education Investment Club meets here, and then the Central Georgia Model Investment Club links here. And I'm sure they may not be meeting.
They're all virtual now.
Yep. So if you can just reach out to them via their contact information, you can find out that information. And let's go to local events, because that 6th annual investor education fair that Larry talked about earlier is right here.
Yeah, that's all the information there.
Yep, all of these are great presenters. They speak at our national convention every year. Need more information, reach out to Claire Redmond via email or phone number. And these are the events Thursday.
And right there you can register. Those are hot links where it says register.
Yep.
Those are hot links. You can register right from this
page. It takes you right to the go-to meeting, and you answer these questions, hit register. But identify those. If you don't want to sign up for all of them, which I recommend you do, but look at this: time matters, a woman's outlook on retirement, audience, women ages 50 to 70, because it's never too late to invest. I mean, a lot of us,
and never too early.
Never too early. That's true.
Right. And a lot of us are living till 80, 90 years old. You know about that, Larry.
Yes, ma'am.
Investing in turbulent times. A beginner class for anybody that's, worried about, I don't know where to start. Beginner class, intermediate class.
All online, no excuses.
That's right. You can sit there in your pajamas.
Yeah. No matter where you are in the world.
No camera needed.
That's right.
Yep. So we just want to thank you so much for all of your service, Larry. It's
been an honor.
So excited to have you on tonight, because we're trying to get, or we have been getting, a lot of people that are excited about investing, that know about it, have made it work for them, have been of service in helping other people learn about it. We're doing little things, and as you know, those little things helping this person in this investment club, we've been able to impact our community. Because when you look at it, most of us have, like you said, you and your wife, we have regular jobs. We may not be able to retire off of just the income that we made, because we don't have high income producing jobs. So how can we make our money work for us, and like you did, retire at 55 on your birthday?
On my birthday.
So we want to ask Larry if you have any closing remarks as we prepare to close, because we do have a call to action for everybody.
Well, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk. I love this organization. It has been a godsend to me. I try to pass it on. If anyone has not got involved with investment clubs or is not investing, this is a good place to start. And you can learn. I don't know what to say. I am just overwhelmed with the joy that all the people out here are so good. Everyone's out here to help you. when we have our meetings, we say the only dumb question is the one that you don't ask.
Mm.
So we're all out here trying to learn from each other.
And if we don't know, we'll get the answer from somebody who does know.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a call to action. One call to action, we're going to encourage everybody, go online and get the Better Investing magazine. It's just one article. Ione likes to ask about books. And so if we may start having a particular book we'd like to recommend, you may want to read. Tonight's book, we'll go with the, it's in the chat, that from small acorns to.
Little acorns to
Little
something.
acorns. It's in the chat.
Millionaires.
Millionaires, right. But what I'd also challenge each of you to do is this. Please go online to our social media. Georgia Better Investing has a Facebook group. And if you're from that area, please make sure you connect with them. Facebook is free. In our chapter, we have the Southeast Florida Facebook group for Better Investing. Connect with us. The national organization also. And if you're listening from anywhere else, just go to Facebook and put in the name of the area you're in. And if you can't find one, join one of ours or join all of our groups and connect with us online. That's our call to action. We want to make sure that you do something. So Ione, if you want to wrap up by giving a challenge or a call to action that, maybe somebody will come back next week and say, guess what? I started my first savings account with $20. It's just that simple. Forget about investing. Maybe start saving. And then the next month you come back, you say, you know what? I paid $20 down on a bill. I literally had millions of dollars in debt because I own a business. And yes, debt free. Yes. Let's say that debt free. But it's from the education that we've all learned from this wonderful organization of volunteers. So you have no excuse. No excuse. And we put our phone number here. I was trying to do your phone number, Ione, but I can't change your name. So I put my phone number there, 786-546-0184. If you have a question, text me. I live on text. And again, my name is Ann McNeill. Ione, Larry, we want to thank both of you for helping us have another phenomenal show. And tonight, we're going to tell you again, like we say every week, join us next week for another special guest. So we're going to ask all of you to help us thank Larry, give him a clap or snap or Better Investing snap or clap. Thank you, Larry, so very much. We really appreciate you. And I will tell you this from the bottom of my heart, every year that I come to any event that Better Investing hosts, I look for you because, we have these years of photos that we take every
There you
year.
go. There you go.
So I'm going to go back through those photos and start posting them. But thank you so very much. And Ione, as always, you're the best co-host
Amen.
that I could ask for. So thank you. And to all of you, Laverne, Beryl, Doretha, Marshall, Michelle, everybody who makes this show possible. We show up, but we want everybody to know that there's some wind beneath our wings to make this possible. And so we'll look forward to seeing everybody next week. And we'll say good night and we'll see you tomorrow.
I'm going to say from Bob Huell to you, Larry Reno, hoorah, okay. Larry.
Hoorah, hoorah, hoorah. Thank you, Bob.
Okay. All right. All right, everybody.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.